So today we are going to talk about quotes. One of my quotes I've written. Good morning, everyone. One of them is, religion without love is an illusion or self-deception. Of course, if you are religious without love, regardless of who you serve, without love you are deceiving yourself. It's self-deception. You are deceiving yourself, my brother and sister. You are deceiving yourself. You must have love. Everything you do, you must be compassionate to your fellow human being. You must have love. You must have love. If you don't have love, you are deceiving yourself and deceiving your own self. So that's the second of the quotes I have today is, if you search or look for money, you will be slave and servant to money. But if you look for value and service, money will be your slave and your servant. Of course, that's true. If you look for money, probably you will be a slave of money. That's why Jesus said. He said, so probably don't look for money. Of course, money is very vital, but you must look for service, look for value. People are looking for value, something of value. If you are valuable, your service will be valuable, of course. So that's why Jesus said, you either serve me or serve mammon. So mammon is, of course, it's money. So don't serve money, serve value instead, and money will look for you. Thirdly, a leader without vision and the willingness to serve is like a child playing with fire. Wow, this is one of the. If you are a leader, you don't have vision of where you are going. You're just drifting around, probably trying to get position to be House of Rep, House of Representative, governor. Of course, that's not bad, but you must first of all have vision of what you are going to do for the people, or vision for your life of where you are going. You must be very, very, very careful. So that's it. Number 4, quote I have: if you look for someone to love you, to feel important, you will end up with the wrong person. Wow, this is tremendous. If you look for someone to be important in your life, probably you will end up with the wrong person. You don't need anybody to feel important. Of course, you need people, but don't force yourself to somebody that will make you important before you feel that God is with you and we are important. And of course, there are some people who are close to you that will make you also important, but you don't have to be the only one that is seeking people to be important, because inherently, we are human beings. We want to be important, we want to be known, but you have to be regulated. 5, knowledge without vision is an illusion. Of course, this is one of the greatest one. Knowledge without vision is an illusion. Knowledge without vision is an illusion. Of course, you cannot have knowledge. If you have knowledge, there are so many people who have knowledge, but they are deceiving themselves. If you have knowledge, of course, you can do better, but there are some kind of knowledge we have to do better in life. So knowledge without vision is an illusion. There are people, and I'm not trying to look down on anybody, of course, but there are people, there are professors, teachers who are probably who have knowledge, but to incorporate it, to integrate it, to articulate it, that is wisdom. So to be able to use it to see their future, they don't have it. So that's why knowledge without vision is an illusion. So as you have knowledge, you must have vision of where you are going, probably where you are going and where you are heading to, your purpose. You see. So number 6, quote I have: if you meet great men, don't ask for material things from him. Instead, ask for knowledge of how he became great. Wow. Many of us, we had met rich man, great men, one way or the other. First thing that comes to our mind is that we ask for maybe money. Of course, there is nothing bad asking for money, but first thing that come to our mind is we ask for money, we ask for material possession. Of course, it's not bad, but the first priority you should have is to is to ask for his knowledge, for his vision, for his routine, his habit, his lifestyle, what he did, what he's doing daily, because those are the things that is producing the results. You see someone is a billionaire, you met him the first day, you're asking him to give you money. Of course, there's nothing bad asking him for money, but first of all, you must ask him of his knowledge, of his wisdom, what he had, what he has learned, the book he read, the video, the seminar he's watching. You must ask for those kind of stuff then before money to equip you to go to where you are going. So next I have here is number 7. If you can't envision your future, you will end up in someone else's future. Wow, this is great. Without your vision, if you cannot envision yourself being fulfilling your purpose in the future, you can never get there. You will end up in someone else's future. You see, you will end up in someone else's future because you are either going your future or you are going to someone else. So you must envision yourself, envision your purpose, your passion. You must know why you are born. You must know, you must envision yourself, your passion, you see. So without you envisioning yourself, you end up following someone else. So of course, there is nothing bad following someone else, but you must know why you are here. You must know the reason why you are alive. You are not just here to drift, to move around on purposely. So you must know your purpose, your passion, and envision it to be able to fulfill it. The next one I have is number 8. One powerful thought or idea is better than 1 year of labor. Wow. I believe many people won't believe this, of course, but it's true. One powerful idea and thought is powerful than 1 year of labor. Have you seen some kind of people that have labored for maybe a year or 6 months, 10 years, and they are still in the same place? It's not the labor, of course, but the idea, their growth, their mindset. You see, so you must grow. You must grow in idea. One idea, for example, Facebook, for example, is only one idea to be able to create social market. That's what Mark Zuckerberg did. So it's one idea, not two. You see, one idea. Bill Gates, Microsoft, one idea. But of course, you must be able to execute it for you to achieve it. So one idea is very, 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 very powerful. Thought is very, very powerful. That's why Henry Ford said, thought thinking is hardest thing thereof. That's why few people engage in it. You see, so you must be able to think, to find idea, because idea rules the world. Not work. Of course, there's nothing bad working labor, but ideas rule the world. You see. The number 9 quote I have here is it is more easier to labor physically for 24 hours than to ponder in your vision for 10 minutes. Wow. For example, like the previous one I just said, is almost synonymous with this one. So it is more easier to labor physically for 24 hours than to ponder your vision for 10 minutes. Yes, there are many people who labor for 24 hours, yes, 6 months, but to think in a minute, in 1 hour, 30 minutes is very hard work. It's very hard, because thinking is one of the hardest work to do. If it is not, why are they paying the manager more than the junior staff? Why? Because he has grown. Why the CEO is making money more than the junior employee? Because he is at the top. He might not just in physical labor, but he's at the top. His mindset, his growth, it's no longer below. He has grown to another realm. So he must be able to grow mentally, spiritually, to attain a different type of result. So you must grow. You see. Next year is number 10. Satan don't have any power over you except the one you give to him. Probably, of course, there are sometimes maybe you came from a family where maybe there is a curse, or there is, of course, probably it's true, but Satan does not have any power over you. You are the one that holds the power. You owns everything, so you must be able to conquer. Never think that Satan is pursuing me. Of course, Satan pursues, but you must be able to say, stand still, and you will see the salvation of the Lord. Stand still. You must be strong. You must stand still and fight Satan. Satan have no power over you except the word you gave him. Never absorb that fear of belief that Satan is more than you or is ahead of you. You can never be. Satan is never ahead of you or more than you. So the next one I have here is number 11. You never came to earth to. Okay, number 12. There are two kind of madness, physical and spiritual. Wow. Of course, many people will never believe this, but it's true. There are two kind of madness. Have you seen someone whereby you just mad suddenly without taking drugs or alcohol or taking anything? It's possible. Have you seen someone just get out of car or is getting mad 2 months in, 2 months out? That's of course spiritual madness. It's not just physical, it's spiritual. But have you seen someone whereby he take drugs or maybe take drugs and unfortunately he got mad? That's maybe psychiatric can work on that, and of course God can also work, but that's the physical. But the spiritual one is beyond. Have you seen someone that confess maybe it's an evil person and he confessed and suddenly he just went mad? That's the spiritual part of the madness. So physically, of course, God can heal the both, but physically, it's only the physical one, doctor can only deal with that, but the spiritual one, doctor has nothing to do. That's why there are some people whereby maybe doctor have tried, they will say, no, this is village people, so they will carry the person back home. So that's it. The next one I have here is the worst imprisonment that someone gets into is spiritual or mental imprisonment. Hey, the worst imprisonment someone can put himself is mental or spiritual. Mental or spiritual. That's one of. For example, in the Bible, there is a story about the children of Israel where God brought them out of Egypt to Israel. When they were in the wilderness, they were complaining to Moses that this, that. Their mindset was still back in Egypt, but they were in the wilderness trying to move to transcend to the promised land, but they were still thinking backward. So suddenly God just said, no, these people are not going anywhere. God allowed them to give birth. It was their descendants, Joseph and Caleb, that now went to the other side. So it is not really your freedom. It's not really about the body, physical body. Of course it is, but freedom is all about the mental, the spiritual. When you are free from that mental prison, you are free forever. But even though you are free physically, without free mentally, my brother, you will still go back to that same habit or fear or mindset. So the next quote here is it is the depth of your service that determines how great you become. You see, it is the depth of your service that determines how great you are. Any great man today is a servant. He serves. People think it's only a servant that is slave. No. Dangote today is serving Smith. Mark Zuckerberg today is serving Facebook. Too many of them. Even Bill Gates is serving Microsoft. Many, countless. Elon Musk today is serving Tesla. So you must serve, my brother. You must serve. Service. The length of your service is the length of your weight, of your growth. So you must be able to serve. As you serve, your weight will also be growing. The next I have here is the beginning of wealth is not physical acquisition but becoming wealthy inwardly. The beginning of wealth is not physical acquisition but becoming wealthy inwardly through your mind, your philosophy, your idea, because you can never grow beyond your mind. So it's inwardly within you. You must grow. before your physical reality will now begin to change. You will now begin to attract different kind of people, different kind of mindset, different kind of people. So before you must, it's not physical acquisition. Of course, physical acquisition is not bad, but acquisition, you must acquire asset, not liability. Asset that will be able to grow you. For example, tapes, book, and many more of them. So you must acquire something that will be able to strengthen you. But first of all, focus on your mind, your growth, because you can never grow physically beyond your mental capacity. Number 17, you can only lie to physical being, not spiritual. There is a musician that I think is Bella Shmurda. I say, if I ever lie to the world, I can never lie to myself. You can lie to anybody in this world, but you can never lie to yourself. You can never lie to yourself. You know inwardly who you are. You know who you are inwardly. Inherently, you know who you are. And of course, you can never lie to spirit. You can never lie to God that no, and this. You can steal, you can do evil. Or of course, you can tell people lie that you are not the one, you are not this kind of people. But inwardly, God knows who you are, because God knows everywhere. God is almighty, is everywhere. So God knows everything you are doing. You see? Then the next I have here is, if you are telling lie by what you speak, it's only a matter of time. Your mind and your behavior will manifest who you truly are. If you are speaking lie by what you speak, you are lying to people and this and that and this and that. And inherently in you, inwardly in you are not that kind of person. Your behavior will show. When you are alone, people will know that no, this guy is not. Your action will determine, will make dictate that then people will know who you truly are. It's only a matter of time. Who you are inwardly will always manifest. So always behave instead of lying or saying unnecessary thing. See? The next here is, if you can't give or serve either spiritually or materially, wealth will be far away from you. Everybody is using something. If you are not serving spiritually, materially, you don't have any products, or maybe mentally or intellectual property that you are educating people, or maybe you have products, for example, like Mark Zuckerberg, most of them, Dangote. You must have physical products that you are offering to the world. You must have physical product that you are offering to the world. And you also have spirit, because everybody is serving the spirit, my brother. Don't let anybody deceive you. You either serve God, you serve devil, or of course it's your religion, but everybody's serving. Everybody's serving them. Everybody's helpless. It's a spirit that empowers us. It is God that empowers us. So we must serve God. And God, if you serve God, God will reward you. And also God will, in the business you are doing, God will also promote it. So you must be able to serve physically, mentally, spiritually, intellectually. The next in my list is number 21. I think, never think you know it all, because if you does, you will discover that you never knew anything in the first place. Wow, have you seen people that they just plateau, they just complacent, that they have knew it all, they have reached the threshold of knowledge acquisition. For example, some professors, of course I'm not ridiculing them, but there are some professors that just plateau, that this is the bar, that they have gone to the end of knowledge. But it's only God that knows everything. You can never know everything. It is not possible. You can never know everything. Of course, you can know more. And as you know more, you want to know more. As you know more, you want to know more. As you read, you want to read more. But you can never know it all. Always have that mindset, have that childish mindset that I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to adapt, I'm willing to adopt. As you have that mindset, you will begin to grow. But if you plateau that you have knew it all, you will never learn. That's why Ford said, he said the day you stop learning, you started dying. The next on my list is 22. Every human being has a seed within them. Anyone that plants his or her own will reap the harvest in the future, but he that does not will beg in the future. Everybody have a seed inherently in us, intrinsic in us, that God put in us before He sent us to this world. we have a gift, we have talent, we have potential in us, but it is those people that be able to develop it, that will be able to trade it or to serve it to the world, and they will, of course, they will have a reward, even though God will also reward them, but physically they will have a reward. So if you don't serve, if you don't develop your gifts, your seed that is inherently in you, if you don't develop it, you can never be great. It is your seed that determines the fruit you will have. So you must be able to develop your gift that is inherently in you. You must serve it with diligence. You must develop it with diligence, serve it with honor, and you will be on the track. The next on my list is the most powerful one, the most powerful and most important knowledge or information anyone must have is the vision of his or her future. The most powerful information or knowledge someone can have is the vision of his or her future. You must have the vision of your future. You must have the vision of where you are going. You must have the vision of your family, your friends, your family, your wife, your mother, your father. You must have the vision of where you are going, your nation. You see, you must have the vision of it, because if you don't have the vision, you can never get there. For example, in what I said earlier, you end up with someone else. So the right information to have is about you. Who am I? Who am I? What have I come here to do in this world? Yeah, because there's something you came here to do, of course. You see. Thank you for today. Tomorrow we'll continue. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Thank you very much.